Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another installment of the Weapon Halo series, Episode 2, The Gravity Hammer. Now, for today's drawing tutorial, all you need is a ruler, a simple pencil with an eraser, and of course, a handy-dandy pencil sharpener. Well, let's get started, gamers. So, first thing you want to do is place your ruler flat on your paper and then make a simple line. Now, this doesn't have to be a long line right there. It just has to be big enough line for you to make your staff and put your detailing into your staff right here. So first we're going to make the staff, then we're going to make the actual hammer head of it. And what's really unique about this little melee weapon, the melee weapon has a hammer end, and then the other end it actually has a really cool blade, so it resembles a hatchet and also resembles a hammer as well. But continuing on to the staff, the butt of the staff has a little blocky form on it. A lot of this melee weapon, like the Magnum pistol, consists of blocky square shapes. First thing you want to do is put a little bolt right there. There are 3 bolts on that end shape right there. There's one on the left side, one on the right side, and of course on the middle right there, as we discussed. And then continuing on, this actually has a metal piece extending out, so you'll want to make a medium-sized little metal piece that is extending out, attaching to the actual staff. Now, what we're going to be doing later on in the video is making horizontal lines. Now, these horizontal lines will be the gripping of the staff. Now, in the actual Google photo that I'm using, it's actually brown, but we're not going to be coloring this drawing. I mean, if you want to, by all means do it. Just make sure you have good colored pencils with you, and don't do it with crayons, people. Ooh, God, don't do that with crayons. But it's brown, but we're actually just going to use our little pencil and just color it in. Now, yes, there actually is different shades of brown, but since we're using an actual pencil, we're going to use different shades of black. Now, the shape that I'm making right here is another metal piece. It's our second metal piece intercepting on the actual gripping of the staff, and it's going to be a little bell shape. Now, of course, when you have a Google photo, look at it, pay attention to it, observe any details, because even on this little small bell shape right here, there is quite a few details that you need to touch on as well. Now, like teaching everybody to make cool, unique sci-fi fiction weapons, there's a downside to it, and it's really hard to do this sometimes because a lot of sections and little different types of shapes and segments of different types of fake guns are really hard to depict, as they don't resemble any actual real sections of real guns or melee weapons. Because like the bell shape and the little end part, I don't know what to actually call them. Hopefully there is an actual book that will label every single piece of every single gun and weapon in Halo, so I'll know what they are. But continuing on, this is going to be our last piece of metal. That's going to it's going to be the end point, and the rest we're going to go ahead and actually make the head of the hammer. So it's pretty simple, just the staff and the hammer head, and also the blade as well. But if you turn your drawing around at a vertical angle, if you get to this point, you can see there's like a little leg. There's a bell shape right there, and then when we're going down, there's a piece of gripping right there, and then going to the last piece of metal, there's an actual look. It looks like it resembles a horseshoe. So that could be a good little analogy for you. Just make a leg with a horseshoe, and at the top of it, just make a little bell shape. Now here's where the gripping is going to be, the nice little gripping. The staff reminds me of like a medieval era type of weaponry, but of course when we get onto the actual head, it won't look medieval at all. It'll look like a Halo weapon. Now, this drawing is going to be consisted of light shading and dark shading and medium shading. So blacks and whites here. Well, actually, mostly blacks. Not trying to be racist there, but it consists mostly of grays and blacks right here. Now, for different straps and of the gripping right here, you want to darken it, so it's kind of like a little pattern right here. So on one stripe you want to make a really dark shade, and the other one you want to make a light shade. So pretty much you want to make like different types of shades. So for that one I made a medium shade, and I do a darker shade on another strap. So basically you just want to make it more diverse and more of a variety of different types of shading. But the only shading you should really focus on for this gripping is the really dark shading, the medium shading, and the light shading. This is going to add a lot of detail even to the actual staff part, because you know, when you have people, your friends looking at your drawing, you want them to look at every single piece of detail, and you want to make it look like it's worth having their eyes being caught and drawn to your drawing. Now, we're not going to leave a straight line, okay? We're going to actually round out. We're actually going to form like an actual sculpture. We're going to form our drawing. We're going to form the staff, make it rounded out a little bit, and not look like an actual straight line. Now, the bell part right here, from me looking at a regular angle as I was starting out with, I actually messed it up because it wasn't at the angle I was happy with. So I just switched it up to a different angle, a vertical angle, and just changed up the shape right there. Now you might have to, for this particular weapon, you might have to actually, you know, switch your paper around, and actually it looks good either way. It looks good on its side, looks good vertical, up and down. It really doesn't matter because it's an actual melee weapon. So either way you look at it, it's going to be good. Now, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing as I did with the longer section of gripping. Of course, you can pause this video anytime, observe any details. And of course, for every little metal part, you want to shade lightly, alright? Except for the little bottom part, except for the butt, the very end of it, it's darkened, as you already seen before. So then we're continuing on to my favorite part, which will be the actual blade and hammer section of it. Now, what I'm doing right here is making two little pegs going up. Now, these two little pegs will also be darkened in a darker shade, and this is actually going to help. These little pegs right here are actually going to support the big blade that's going to be on top, or the back, depending on what angle you're looking at it, whether it be on the side or vertical up and down. So you always want to make sure that your pencil is sharpened, because a lot of the pegs and different sections and grippings, it's going to actually require a lot of sharp points, you know, because if you have a little stubby pencil, then of course you're not going to get the sharp, good lines that you really want, the sharp crisp lines that are required for this type of drawing and weapon. So right here, this is going to be the little center of the hammer right there. That's going to be in the center, in the middle of the blade, and also the hammer end. Now, right here in this section, it really consists of a lot of straight lines and a lot of blocky square shapes. Now, not for every small line you need a ruler for. I mean, for me, I can just make decently straight lines without really using a ruler. But if it's for really a lot of long straight lines, of course I take out that ruler for the staff, because you always want to have a straight line when you're making the staff gripping, because if you don't, then it's just going to look really weird and probably a little deformed and just yeah, not straight at all. So as you can see, I'm actually darkening a lot of shapes right there, and I'm making little roundish squares on the bottom, and you're going to have to make a little two more slightly flatter squares, which I'm pretty sure they serve as lights. But you're going to make 4 little square lights for that little middle section between the blade and the hammer. So guys, I hope it's not really too flashy right there. Of course, this video is actually a little speeded up, you know, to save a lot more time. And yeah, sorry if it flashes too much. I hope it don't cause anyone to have an actual seizure. Oh man, that would not be good. Right there, we're continuing on to the actual middle section. Here is where we're actually going to flesh it out. We're going to make a square. We're actually outlining right here in the inside, and then it's going to connect to the actual top part. As you can see, the top and bottom part are all connected within the inner outline of the actual middle section right here. And a lot of outlines you'll have to darken as well, according to the high-res photo from Google, or you can also get the photo from Bing Images and any search engine that will provide good, high-quality photos for you. Especially on any Halo website that actually provides you the good, high-quality pictures, which which I'm pretty sure they would, because, you know, it's Halo, it's their weapons, it's their thing, you know, so, yeah. So, continuing on, of course, you want, like I said, you want to add some shading right there. It's not really as shading as it's just coloring it in. Now, you don't want to really leave a plain white hammer. It's not going to look as detailed. It's not going to look as much effort has been put into it. Hey guys, I hope you're actually staying with me right now. I know that this is a long video. I really wanted to actually speed this video up, not as like a time-lapse drawing where you can't learn a dang thing from it, but where it's fast and you can learn something at a good, efficient pace. But this video is going to be a little over 20 minutes, probably a little 27 minutes, almost as long as my GTA 5 review. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. I'll check it out if you haven't. I really appreciate it, and thanks for anyone that is actually supporting me. I appreciate that as well. Love you guys. So now, continuing on, you'll see those little square shapes, those little rounded square shapes return as lights. And as you can just see basic different shapes. Now, if you would actually, if you finish the drawing and you just look at it, you can probably actually separate it, or look at the photo of the gravity hammer and actually separate it and depict it in different lines of symmetry. Because unlike the staff part, the actual head part of it, you can separate it into different little lines, because it has a lot of blocky shapes, and the blade, not really. It's pretty much round, because, you know, all blades are roundish. And of course, for different shapes, you're going to have to do a little bit outlining, and then you will also have to darken more. So it's kind of like a little procedure here. You make some shapes, then you have to darken in those shapes, color them in, and then have to do a little bit of different shading and a little bit more detailing. Now in the middle section, forgot about this, sorry about that, and you'll have in the middle section right there, you'll have to make little arrows. So little arrows going biggest to smallest. And right here at the end part of it, it's actually really unique at the end part of the hammer. It's not your usual hammerhead, you know. It has these little pegs, if you will, sticking out of the bottom. And right here are similar to the little blocky shapes that we have in the middle section, but they're actually bigger lights, as I would like to call them. Now, for each light that we make, there will be a little peg or column, if you will, a white little column that's going to go up and connect to the actual top part of it, of the little hammer section. So you always want to observe the photo that you are provided. You always want to see as little details you can actually put in, and thank God that this hammer does not have any words on it, but it has a little emblem, Japanese looking emblem and symbol that you will see in a little bit going further into the video. That's pretty much it. I'm okay with doing little emblems, well, in some cases, but if it's doing different kinds of writing, unless it's the simple Halo font, the UNSC font, I'm okay with it, but unless it's something like blocky words, then oh man, I cannot do that to save my life. It's pretty complicated to do that. So as you can see, those white little columns that I'm doing, you're going to want to copy this procedure two more times. So you want to do a light, then a column, and then going off to the light, you want to do some more shading, and all of this is going to be colored in as well. So a lot of dark shading that I do will be actual separate, and the background of the actual hammer you want to do light so you can still see that different types of shading. It'll just, and this is pretty much resembles actual wear and tear of the hammer. Now, I would do the griff ball, and if you don't know what the griff ball is, it's basically, there's a game mode in Halo where it's called griff ball, of course, and basically you have gravity hammers, and you just actually hit around with the gravity hammer. I'm pretty sure you can actually kill someone with it. It's actually a competitive little sport within Halo. Now, I hope you guys don't really hate me for this, because I really haven't played Halo that much. I haven't really played Halo that long, so I can't really see. I think there is goals for it. I have played it before with a clan, but I don't, yeah, that's been like a year ago, so I don't know. So yeah, and speaking of the griff ball, I couldn't really find any actual pictures of it. If you actually go on Google or Bing right now, all you would see is a plushie of the griff ball, which I guess that would be something good to go on, but I would actually need a picture of it, and not an actual plushie, and besides, it's not really, it has like a picture of a Spartan on it, and it's not even accurate at all, because I'm pretty sure the actual griff ball in the game doesn't have a little Spartan logo on it. That wouldn't make sense, in my opinion. So guys, what's your favorite Halo game of all time? I want to know that in the comments list below. Now, I might have touched on that in the last episode, but you know, I'm not really sure. I don't know if I did. If I did, I didn't remember it. But yeah, what's your favorite Halo game of all time? Well, I'm not really sure what mine is. I would have to say it would be either Halo 3 or Halo Reach. Actually, I think mine has to be the Combat Evolve, honestly. Halo Reach, actually, above the whole community, it's Halo Reach, because most of the Halo community loves Halo Reach. It's their favorite. But I want to hear from you guys. You know, what's your favorite? If you're a casual gamer of Halo, what's your favorite Halo game? If you have played enough of them to actually narrow it down and what's your actual favorite. Now, a big little question is like, which is better, Call of Duty or Halo? Well, in Call of Duty, when you shoot someone in the head in multiplayer, they don't die. And when you shoot someone in Halo in the head, they actually die. And that also happens in Battlefield 4. Well, not just Battlefield 4, but in any Battlefield. But we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop that little conversation and continue on. But right here, this is what I'm talking about, the Japanese logo and emblem. Now, this is what you would see on like a little samurai helmet, or like an actual sword, like a Japanese sword blade. This is really cool. It's like, I can't really know what it is. It's like a little head, and there's like little arms going from the bottom of it. So you want to make a little circle right there, and you want to make little arms going down to it. Yeah, this reminds me of like a little Japanese emblem you would find on like Japanese samurai armor. Yeah, I can definitely see this on like actual samurai armor back in the day. So, going back to Halo versus Call of Duty. Call of Duty has more tryhards in it, and yeah, and when people think of Call of Duty, they think of, you know, they'll think of, like, of course the guns, and they'll think of the multiplayer, and they'll also think of the MLG tournaments if they're a really big multiplayer fan, you know, but really, I think Halo is much deserving of being an MLG. It does have MLG tournaments, by the way, but I think it's more deserving of more MLG attention. You know, because I think it's definitely more strategic. Yeah, it's definitely more strategic in my opinion, and yeah, actually every single Halo game, including the RPG one. The strategy game, the Halo Wars game, it's definitely more strategic than Advanced Warfare. Ooh, good God, Advanced Warfare. Thanks to jetpacks in Advanced Warfare, yeah, now I know they're called Exos, but, you know, they're basically jetpacks. Everyone's jumping around, and since it does add fast to the gameplay elements, you know, it does make the gameplay much more faster, but thanks to that, there's really no tactics, unless you're in a party within a clan, but sometimes, most of the time, you'll just be playing by yourself, and a lot of incompetent people will just be jumping around, you know, just going lone wolf, and you'll pretty much be without cover, and, yeah, so. That's my problem with Advanced Warfare. I'll most likely do an actual review of it. Now, guys, if you see the video stopping and a little bit of choppiness, my voice might be choppy as well. Just a little bit of technical difficulties right there. But I'm going to stop right here, and I'll see you guys later, further in the video, and I will discuss the actual blade section. Alright, now, sorry about that. Now we're going to continue on to the actual blade right here. Now, as you can see, there's a little circle right there on the front, and basically, it's just a little regular blade right there. It goes up and then down like a little hill right there, especially in the middle section. Now, at the bottom right there, going to the corner, there's like a little two little blocks right there. Kind of reminds me of the Black Ops 2 emblem right there. But yeah, that's basically what it is down there in the little corner by the circle. And then you want to, of course, shade. Use a lot of dark, use a lot of black, use a lot of grays. And then, you know, for extra amount of detail, you want to actually add some scuff marks to add a lot of wear and tear, you know. Act like your gravity hammer has been through a lot, been killing a lot of Spartans, or a lot of brutes, or a lot of Covenant. So yeah, I mean, if you are willing to put that extra detail in it, believe me, it will make your drawing pop. So guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this drawing tutorial. The next one will be the energy sword. It probably won't be the next actual video, but it will be the next drawing tutorial for the Halo weapon series. So guys, here is the overview of the gravity hammer. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Have some fun on Halo, own some noobs, and I'll see you guys next time, gamers.